name is Abel. So it's
Cain
Cain
and Abel. I see.
And then I had this accident on the film, and during the big fight scene, I had a stunt where I got pulled on a wire across the room and went through a statue. And when I went through the statue, I landed on my foot and my knee locked out.
Oh, yeah.
So my knee went like this,
no.
and I tore a ligament in the outside of my leg.
Oh.
So I kind of took about a year to recover.
Oh, my goodness.
So all my scenes in number 3 were...
Oh, no. So this is in the middle of the making of the movie, in the middle somewhere.
Yeah.
So your character got kind of cut out because you had to, I mean, well, first of all, health is the most important thing, so,
you got to look at these things philosophically.
Yeah. And how did you take that? How did you handle that?
Well, when it happened, I knew I was in trouble when it happened. As soon as I reached down, my knee was already this big within seconds. But they needed to finish the scene or at least get one more shot, otherwise they're going to be in trouble. Multi-million-dollar film, and that scene is now half done. So I got them to bring in a trampoline, and I did one more shot of me I sort of hopped on one foot on this trampoline and threw myself onto the ground so they could get at least one more shot.
Oh, wow.
And then I got flown to my hometown for surgery, and
oh my goodness.
I actually didn't end up having surgery, but it was the Sydney surgeon said we need to operate, and then when I got back down to Melbourne, they said, well, the fact that it's excruciatingly painful means that there's some ligament tissue there, so...
Whoa, so here you are in pain, and you flew back to Australia, being in this pain to get surgery back at home. You're one tough man. Wow.
Yeah, so I did another film where I had my finger dislocated. And, my finger was kind of bent back like this.
Yeah.
And I showed the on-set nurse, and she said, I don't want to look at it. Show the paramedics. I showed the paramedics. They said, I don't want to look at it. It could be broken. I just want someone to put it back. And they said, we need to X-ray first. And I had driven to set, and I had driven someone else to set. And I had a manual car.
I see.
In Australia, gear sticks on this side. So I had to drive back. Drop this guy off. This is 5 o'clock in the morning because it's a night shoot. And then take myself to emergency.
Wow. Well, what was that film?
That was The Great Raid.
The Great Raid.
That was Benjamin Bratt, Connie Nielsen, Joe Fiennes.
Okay. Yeah. Wow. Now, you've done film and movies, things like this in Korea. So what are some of the people you worked with and movies that you've done here?
There's a lot of Korean, I again specialize. I work a lot with Korean productions. I want to shoot in other countries and that whole international thing. So the last big thing we did that everyone would probably know is Pacemaker. We shot that in London, and I was the overseeing producer, the 해외 producer. And before that, there's a lot of TV dramas that have been shot in different countries. 태양의 여자 was shot in Hong Kong. 그달을 사는 세상 was shot in Singapore and Indonesia. Marine Boy was shot in Cebu. Misa was shot in Melbourne. That's how I started with TV dramas.
I see.
I ended up getting asked to produce the Melbourne shoot for that, and on that in Misa, one of my actors didn't turn up, so I ended up playing the assassin in that film. So again, kind of behind the scenes, in front of the scenes. Kemi Yoang, I think it was shot in New Zealand. Kemi Yoang, I think that was right. That was shot in New Zealand, and again, my second unit directed a little bit and did some car stunts and produced here. And the Korean industry has been wonderful for that. Because you couldn't do that in a Hollywood production so much because of the unions and the,
Right. Wow. You know what? We're going to go into a little bit of action here. We're going to go to this next segment called Catch a Glimpse. Okay, I'm scared. What are we doing?
All right, so this is what we're going to do. All right, I'm going to teach you how to just not be held.
Okay.
Initially.
So if I'm walking a dark alley and a person comes to me, how do I defend myself? Okay.
So you grab my wrist.
Okay.
Okay. I said grab my wrist.
Okay, I'll try.
All right, so
Oh.
if you know what, let's do it really slowly.
Okay.
Right? Most people, if I hold onto your wrist, most people just yank at it, try and get
like
out.
this,
It's not going to work.
Oh, I see.
Okay? Especially if a guy is bigger than you.
Yeah.
His strength versus your strength, one is always going to win.
Okay.
These fingers that you're pulling into are these muscles here.
Okay.
But the thumb, the muscles are quite small.
Okay.
So what I want you to do is, firstly, there's this gap here. Instead of trying to get the fat part of your wrist out, you're going to get the thin part of your wrist out.
Oh, okay.
So you're going to turn.
Turn my wrist.
And pull your thumb towards your opposite shoulder.
Like this.
Yeah. That's
oh, like that.
That's it. Yeah.
I see. Instead of the big part, turn it and then go out like this.
But on top of that, everyone knows how a crowbar works.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then you have to take that crowbar principle. So instead of pulling with your elbow,
like this,
I want you to push your elbow towards my wrist.
Oh, okay.
So turn.
Instead of like this,
turn. And then push your elbow forwards.
Oh, okay.
Now, again, if I'm 3 times bigger or you're 3 times, grab onto make a fist.
Okay.
Grab your fist with your other hand.
Okay.
Double
and
the
then,
strength.
I see, and take it out like that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Very important to twist.
Okay, because we just want to go like this. Don't do that. Think and turn and pull the elbow out. Okay. What's another one? Okay. What's another one? What's another one?
Okay. How about we do? Someone grabs you like this.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
And then I'm just going to want to go like this.
Exactly. Most people are just going to grab and
help me like this.
Okay. Pull down. Pull down with all your strength. You're not going anywhere, are you? You're not going anywhere.
And then.
Right. So the important thing here is your neck. You have to protect your neck.
Right.
And you have to get out.
Yeah.
Okay. So. First thing you do, turn your head into the space.
Right here, okay.
Turn into the space.